Good morning, church. Today's open heaven is self-sufficiency. So the memory verse is John 15, verse 5, and it says, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. John 15:5. So the Bible reading is from Judges 16:20-21. And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. The S in our equation for resistance in the mathematics of Christ in you stands for self-sufficiency. If you do not understand, kindly refer to the devotionals of January 11 and 12. Most times, when many people call self-sufficiency, is purely reliance on their flesh rather than God. In Daniel 4:28-37, we see how this attitude got Nebuchadnezzar into trouble. He said, Is this not Babylon that I built? As a result, God sent him to eat grass in the forest for 7 years to prove to him that all he had was from God. By the time he came back, he acknowledged God as the Most High who rules in the affairs of men. Today's Bible reading tells the story of Samson. This man had defeated an entire army with the jawbone of an ass, and he was really strong. Unfortunately, he did not realize that this strength was not from him, but from God. I know this because if you look through the feasts he had accomplished, he would see everything starting with and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him. You can see this in Judges 14:6, 19, Judges 15:14. One day, after God's Spirit had left him, he said, I will arise and go out as at other times before. Judges 16:20. And he was put to shame. It does not matter how gifted or skillful you are. Without God, you are no different from the sand on the beach. Many a time, when we listen to the testimonies of some people, we still see them glorifying self. They take the shine off God and put it in their efforts. In Philippians 3:3-7, Paul had been talking so much about himself until something warned him, be careful. And he quickly added in verse 7, But what things were gain to me, those I count loss for Christ. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. You want God to live in you and operate through you, then you must not lean on your own understanding. You must get to the point where you can say that this is in him, that it is in him that I live, move, and have my being. Acts 17:28. We should always remember the words of Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 3:5. Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is God. The key point here is you are nothing without God.